Vine entered the college after fixing her hair several times, checking herself in her phone screen to make sure she looked okay, her palms sweaty and legs shaky. Every time she is around her campus, it messes up with her brain. The fear crawled up against her skin. Everyone was laughing and talking to their friends, smiles on their faces. She thought they were laughing at her, but no one, in fact, spared her a glance. She was never this type of person until an year ago when she met her bullies, and her life has ruined since then. A bunch of students in the campus who found her and had been bullying her since then. Her parents never listened to her. The school authority did nothing to help her as their parents paid them to stay quiet. She wore an oversized hoodie which covered her body, in other words, hid all the proof of abuse and pain. She tried her best to skip anyone noticing her and grabbed her things from the locker and rushed to her class. It was a good start. As everything went smoothly, her anxiety calmed down a little. She prepared for her next class, leaving for it immediately, only to be pulled in an empty room and be thrown against the wall. It brought her to the edge. Her fear woke up again, and she knew exactly what was going to happen. Her book dropped from her hand, and she slowly looked up to see her nightmare laughing at her. Her bullies looking not any less than a monster. Mike, you look scared. I was missing you. He stepped near her and grabbed her neck, making her wince. His hold kept tightening, blocking her air. Her eyes teared up as she tried to push him away. Yet, her self esteem refused to beg them. They might have messed up her mental health, reduced her from being a cheerful girl to a mentally ill, stable, scared person. But she would never beg them to let her live. Sam, don't kill her. I'm a little too turned on to see a dead body. Mike laughed and let her go, like a piece of trash. She coughed out, gasping for air. She looked at them with anger filled, glossy eyes and picked up her book again. Wine, stop bothering me. It won't end good for you. As Mike tried to grab her again, she threw her book at his face. The springs scratched against his skin, making him bleed. Vine knew she was a dead person now, but a part inside of her was too satisfied to smirk and actually laugh. She believed she had gone crazy by that point. Sam was on his feet marching after her by that point. Her satisfaction turned into fear again as she ran for her life, but she was held back by them and thrown onto the floor. Next moment she knew a slap landed on her face, her hair being pulled and her clothes being ripped. She screamed, yet they were muffled by their hands. She struggled, but they were weighed down by their bodies. Yet, before they could reach her undergarments, her panic shifted into surprise. Mark still above her, blood suddenly flowing down his head. He fell off her and Sam stood up as well, looking around. A figure, huge figure, standing in the shadows while power encircled him, stood in the room. Sam, who are you? He cursed. Mark was groaning in pain while his head kept bleeding. Your death, the shadow man said as he removed the hood and put it above Wine, while marching towards Sam and Mark and tackled the guys alone, one against two. He was strong, fast, and powerful. Vine hugged the hoodie like her life depended on it and wore it. It was huge, like its owner, falling till her knees and covering her whole, making her look teeny as ever. Cover your ears, he warned, and she did immediately. Yet she heard the screams of Mark and Sam no matter how much she tried to block them out. They were that loud and in pain. One glance told her her protector was busy breaking their bones, and the messed up part of her didn't mind it. She was too grateful to that person, but that bitter taste on her tongue stopped her from thanking him. He was, after all, her enemy. Why did it had to be him, of all the people, to save her? As he knelt before her and eyed her softly, the earlier beast gone, she felt vulnerable. Wine, I'll return your hoodie. Jungkook, keep it. Looks good on you. Wine, why did you save me when you hate me? His face remained stoic before he frowned as if he was disgusted by those words. Jungkook, who the hell told you that? Wine, I heard it myself. She snapped. I heard you saying all that nonsense about me to your friend. The frown never disappeared from his face and she sighed. Wine, whatever. I have to take my class. She stood up. She might be glaring at him, but he didn't fail to notice her legs that were trembling and the goosebumps all over her skin. She could act all she wanted, but was too bad at hiding it. Jungkook, want some coffee? She looked at him shocked and then smiled bitterly. Wine, want to poison me? Makes me wonder why you saved me. Jungkook groaned and stood up as well. He held her when her legs almost gave up on her. The two stood close, and ironically, she felt too safe in his presence. She believed she had crossed the limit of insanity. Jungkook, what nonsense did you heard me spitting again? Wine, your friend thought you were into me, and you said it with so much disgust that you were almost around me because you hated me. And looking at me reminded you of why you needed to make sure you pass out this college and not spend another year here. Wine, and that you wanted to throw out just by looking at my face. Why? I didn't do anything wrong to you. Or maybe spilling the juice on you once was a complete accident. You didn't have to hate me that much because of that. She yanked her arm away and glared at him. Jungkook groaned and held her again. Jungkook, that wasn't about you. Why? Stop lying. I heard you taking my name. Jungkook, there are other girls of your name. For God's sake. It was about my cousin, and you'll hold the same emotion for her if you ever met her. I can't believe this. He groaned out of disbelief, and Vine blinked her eyes, dumbfounded by the clarification. Jungkook, for the record, all I ever wanted was to kiss the life out of you until you were filled with me, in your heart, your body, and your soul, until all of them belonged to me, and I would burn every person as much as they step near you. Vine's thoughts went back to all those times she was safe from her bullies due to a strange reason, like the one time in the bathroom where they ran away, God knows why, or that time in the parking lot when a car almost crushed them, and a few other times as well. Was it him all along? Vine, you had a lot of chances to burn them. Jungkook, as the case would go straight back to you, I need to make sure you wouldn't be caught up in this mess. Vine, like it won't now. They're almost dead. Jungkook, let the money do the work, sweetie. He held her chin, his grip authoritative yet soft against her skin. He then placed a kiss to her forehead and wrapped an arm around her waist. Jungkook, let me be with you. Give me a chance and try it out with me. I know you liked me before the misunderstanding. Never hated you, and I missed you like a lunatic trying to find you everywhere, thinking maybe she's still admiring me from afar. Her cheeks turned pink out of embarrassment, so he knew she used to admire him from distance like a fool. His eyes dropped to her lips, and she held her breath. Jungkook, no one will hurt you anymore, and that's my promise to you. She nodded, and he kissed her. She kissed him back, holding his vest tightly in her hold, and closed her eyes. A little misunderstanding, and she thought she was hated by the person she liked the most. It was painful for her, yet she ended up persuading herself to hate him, so she won't be too hurt anymore. But then she found her bullies, and her life went down the drain. He pulled her in his strong arms and kissed her head again and closed his eyes. Jungkook, as long as I am here, no one can ever lay a finger on you again. So smile, like you're the happiest girl on planet, and I'll see who dares to mess with it again. Her eyes teared up, yet she tried her best to hold them in, an ounce of warmth which swelled in her heart until it killed all the coldness that had been there for an year. It was twisted, like a fairy tale. She loved a man, thought he hated her, got heartbroken, ended up meeting her nightmare in the shape of her bullies, found her love again who helped her escape from her nightmare and provided her with warmth she wanted all her life. It felt complete. Her heart felt complete in his arms, with his lips touching her skin and hands caressing her body. She took every affection he showered her with, and with every word reminded her how important she was to him.